Hey, what's up guys, this is Oakley and we're going to be doing a 2v2 online battle. You can already see the faction I've chosen. This is going to be Sparta, and this is going to be just to celebrate the fact that we're going to be soon getting a little bit of that small DLC, Wrath of Sparta, so I figured I was going to go ahead and take these guys on the battlefield. Anyways, let's go ahead and zoom out. You can see over here actually another contingent of our force, and this is going to be Massilia is actually going to be joining me for the fight. And we're going to be facing off against a barbarian contingent consisting of a Swaby force on this right flank, or our left flank, and then over here are going to be the Nervy forces. So we're not quite sure what we're looking at. If you look at the deployment of this battlefield, it's going to be rather heavily wooded, a lot of undulating hills, makes for a really cool area to play in, but a very good one also for barbarians to hide in. As you can see here, I'm just scouting forward with some citizen cav. They are taking a couple pings in their health, and they're paying the price for scouting this out. But look at all the valuable intel I'm getting. If by valuable intel you mean an arrow to the ass, well, that's what I'm getting a whole fistful of. So luckily I only did lose 1 or 2 men in that push, so I was able to determine kind of the quantity and position of these Swaby forces. They're all over the place, and then my guys are also around here trying to dance and push forward, and the Nervy are going to try and force us back. They have a lot of these initial scouting troops, but at least we do have a couple of our guys positioned here as well for a counterattack. Looks like we're going to decide to pull back and not take this fight. We're not quite sure what is behind, and so look at what's coming out of the forest on our end is going to be a lot better forces to hold up the enemy front, and they're going to head to and pull back. What I decide to do is charge forward with my own citizen cav into these scout riders who are fixated doing scouting on a different part of the battlefield. They didn't quite see what was going on. Anyways, over here I was caught a little bit. I tried to deploy on the flank with all of my archers. Now my heroically hoplites are going to be pouring into this flank, trying to guard my front as I set up with all of my archers. My helots are going to be positioned up on this hillside, and I wanted to definitely get them in this dominating position because it's going to be from here that we can rain down on the enemy. They have no clue what they're shooting at, so they're going to try and lob a couple of shots over, even with their spears and bows and arrows and everything. But I'm able to hold the front with my Spartans. However, this is not really going to be a viable tactic. I mean, I am concentrating fire and breaking some of them. However, I was expecting the enemy forces to be further back like these guys. I actually didn't see that there was an opening in this cliffside. I thought it was a continuous cliffside, and then to my dismay, the cavalry actually were able to sneak till point blank range. Now we're going to be able to see just what they do once they got the flank on me. So Swaby is doing a good distraction in the front, you know, keeping us engaged on one position and then coming out from the side with massive numbers. And at least I was able to pull back some of my helot archers. You know, they have suffered pretty significant losses, but I did have some of my heroes of Sparta in reserve. Some more of these heroes of Sparta, 2 of those units who are going to be able to beat back these riders of the hunt. However, these are going to be very, very slippery units who are going to continue to pull through my men and just try and ride down my archers. He knows I have almost all of my archers, that is, on this position, and he really wants to break them. My front is starting to collapse as well. Perioikoi are going to start breaking. I still have 1 unit here, but the rest are going to be breaking under the fierce assault of the sword masters plus riders of the hunt in the back. So I was able to put these guys back into hoplite shield to help me out. And now my opponent is going to start to try and tango with me, and I'm going to just do a massive Spartan rush forward with my pikes, get into position, and then drop these down. My opponent is not going to be happy with this, so here we go. Drop the pikes, and now we're going to push forward and massacre these forces. More of these Spartan hoplites in the back, and I actually have a couple archers in the rear, I believe, yeah. So they have a really good position to shoot at, and they can see kind of the position that my guys are in on the flank. They see more cavalry rushing in. That means, and look at this, even some more of the enemy forces have been pulled off of that fight. So this is going to be a very dangerous position for my guys to be in, but I'm having all of my guys redeployed to shield them. So this is reassuring for this unit. They know that they have a competent general who can shield them, and now my pikes are moving out in all positions. Let's go ahead and look at this. Gonna get a nice charge there. My own pikes are gonna be shifting forward. I'm pushing back with all I have here, holding the opponent back. My pikeman just charged forward to catch up with his round shield swordsman, and he's actually getting some own swords into the back of his forces. I was able to crush one of his guys here, I'm going to go ahead and try and reform to meet this cavalry assault, so let's see if I can get back into position. Looks like I was able to ward these guys off, so I am going to be able to hold this front. Let's put this on slow motion, or pause actually, because we've been missing a lot of the battle, trying to get these cinematics. So you can see me, I mostly deployed here, archers in the background, and I did some initial damage to my opponent here with my citizen cav, you know, broke some units and then came back, and then my opponent rushed out of the force, and then I just ran out of here with all my pikemen, dropped my spears at the last moment in various positions. I'm going to start breaking his forces, or at least holding the front. I do still have Royal Spartans holding in the back because, you know, in case this flank breaks and he moves around the back, I want to have some more elite troops to stem that retreat and hold me there. Let's go ahead and look at the conditions of this battle. The Riders of the Hunt that you guys saw before have been chasing down all of my Helot archers, so really huge blows to my guys. I am going to be stripped of almost all my archers. Let's see how many kills these guys have. 159, so that was the major problem for me. The fact that I rushed up this flank, did not anticipate that my opponent could actually move up here. You can see from this position, it looks like, okay, cliffside, 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 and so I was just going to move around the flank, position myself here, and shoot this way. Then he attacked very smartly from here, drew my attention, caught me unawares, and then came around with the Riders of the Hunt, so very effective move. But at least when you're playing as Sparta, they have, you know, heroes of Sparta and all these Perioikoi units, huge shields and all that stuff, these hoplites, so they can hold out for a long amount of time despite being attacked in the flank. Very useful, abilities right there. And then anyways, over here, this is going to be more disorganized than I would like to admit. You can see our forces have sort of a lot of reserves, mostly archers, you know, Gallic hunters who are going to be moving up into position. We even have a Greek scorpion who's going to be moving up to pick off key value targets. Let's walk through this methodically. So the thorax swordsmen are being held in reserve, and these guys are going to be used to expend all of their spears on a guerrilla swordsman. Thorax swordsman in the front to do most of the cutting, more Thoreos spears to do some flanking shots, so it looks like we're going to win this fight. And then these Gallic hunters are going to be redeploying to face the onslaught from this front, from the Nervi. And yeah, just swordsmen and all these troops deployed at varying levels to try and keep this barbarian assault at bay. And let's look at some of this. They also have a lot of their own archers and whatnot in the distance, and they're going to be rushing up here. Any of our guys who crest the hill are again going to get another shot. Oh, actually they're shooting much further than that. Didn't quite see where those landed, but yeah, this is a very intense battle, all in the woodlands, so you can just imagine how crazy this would have been in real life. You get over the crest of the hill and look at what you're going to see, a whole bunch of guys staring you in the face with their bows ready and their arms cocked, ready to throw spears at you. So this is going to be a pretty hard-fought battle. However, we are taking most of this flank. They're going to be breaking some of my guys, and I have to be wary that they're going to charge into the rear of my forces. I'm going to redeploy, turn about, and really meet this charge. These noble riders, however, are looking to break some of my forces, so I'm going to pull back and try and save my archers. My archers were told to stand still and take this assault, so they got a couple of volleys, but it's not going to be enough. They're going to be routed, or at least dealt a really damaging blow. More of these Riders of the Hunt doing a lot of hammer and anvils, but at least my heroes of Sparta engaged in this fight. They're going to be getting a tremendous number of kills. Their staying power is unmatched, and they're going to be holding back, you know, more and more groups of these swordmasters and whatnot. My general is back there. And I'm going to bring back my heroes of Sparta to guard my rear. You can see how the Suebi have pulled in more cavalry. They want to really break this and then collapse on my front here. I was able to, yeah, sort of guard my archers, at least keep them from being continually run down. Over in this front, I am decimating a little bit of this front ranks. My pikes are doing well. And over here, I have more pikes in a pretty solid formation, so I am doing well on this front. Enemy do not have enough forces to break me, and not enough cavalry. I think he was stretched a bit too thin, and it was mostly due to the heroics of my heroes of Sparta on this flank, drawing so much attention to them and really holding firm. And now I'm able to bring back some of my Spartan hoplites. They didn't really need to be in the rear of that fight because the cavalry have been moved away. But yeah, this is still going to be very troublesome for me. I can't guard all the rear, so Suebi's going to be doing good work. More and more of my guys are breaking. So this one's going to be broken. Perioikoi hoplite. This guy is going to be isolated. He's still doing pretty well, but the cavalry are going to come back for another charge. So it's going to be down to my heroes of Sparta. But that is, you know, that's a unit you can count on. I'm going to be pressing the advantage on all of these fronts. and finally we were able to break this flank. And so my ally, thankfully, is going to be able to deploy some of his guys, help me chase down the opponents, and this is going to help us wrap this flank up. We really just need to hold on this front. My general is now going to pop out of hiding. I figured I would go ahead and catch these guys. And over on this flank, we were able to hold this up pretty well. You saw how Nervy was really engaged on all the bottom levels. I think we were able to get enough archer support fire. The Scorpions even got in on the mix. Let's see how many kills. Now 26 kills. Hard to shoot in the foliage, but yeah, we had a lot of remaining troops in this fight. So relatively easy fight, and a lot of these guys are breaking with many men remaining. So I think the general most likely went down, and a huge number of these guys broke. But they still have a couple of the remaining guys who were sent to cover the retreat, you know, fire arrows, all that stuff. They're not allowing us to chase these guys without a fight. More of these Celtic youths, yeah, being targeted. And here we go. Riders in the Hunt are still, or no, Noble Riders are still in this fight. They're going to try and attack me from the back, you know, doing very effective moves. I'm going to be pulling my phalanx through my own guys. You can see how some of them got there just in the nick of time. A little bit of the weird physics you can do with Total War. They're basically putting their spears through their own men to help defend them, so I guess it kind of worked. Interesting tactics. Yeah, so this has kind of neutralized this front, and I'm going to be chasing these guys down. Archers coming back, shooting these guys, giving their revenge. Targeting whoever they can. And now here come my pikemen, and they're going to try and hem in these forces who have been held almost at the miniature hot gates with my Royal Spartans. These guys are ridiculous. Been in this battle the entire time, getting loads of kills. Even though they're exhausted, they're still holding in. And our opponent is hoping to break these heroes, but they will not break. They will not go down without a fight. And here comes the rest of our army moving in. I've engaged on the left side, and this is going to be the remainder of their force, and they're going to be falling back to this position of, you know, spear warriors, but it's not going to be enough. Let's take a look at this incoming mass of men. Very scared. So here come our guys. We're going to be forming up, getting ready for this next assault, and now we're going to charge forward. We're going to try and brace to spear wall. Our guys are going to engage, send in more forces, and then my hoplites are going to be pushing on the flank. They did redeploy some of their sword masters here to hold us, so at least they're going to be trying to keep their forces up the top at bay, throwing cavalry, everything they can against these Spartans. But I can tell you now, it's not going to do anything. Let's watch this a little bit from underneath. Holy moly. Holy moly. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Pretty epic fight. Now my pikemen, all my forces are going to be coming in, trying to catch these cavalry as they retreat. And I really do like these Spartan pikes. They're very useful, very cheap units. You can get them in large numbers, and they can hold their own pretty well. Then you round off the rest of your army with a lot of the typical Spartan hoplites, and then the cream of the crop, the Spartan heroes. You can see just what they're capable of doing over on that flank that I had up on top of that hill. So overall, very nice faction. I'm really excited to see how they're going to play out in the Wrath of Sparta DLC, and if Athens can even hold up to them on the in the battlefield. So that'll be very interesting to see. But we are not going to see any of the units here. You know, any of the units from Wrath of Sparta reflect in multiplayer. It's going to be solely a campaign DLC. But anyways, that's going to be the end of the battle. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's really nice to get back into these battles. They're thoroughly enjoyable. So let's go ahead and end the replay and take a look at some of the stats. So I think I'm, nope, not quite MVP. You can see Swaby got a lot of kills, definitely. I think it's just that I brought a lot of men. That's why I was able to tank those losses, and that's what you get from bringing Sparta with the Perioikoi. Pretty cheap guys, you can bring a lot of them. Helots especially, even though they got ridden down by cavalry, they got a lot of supporting fire. And even those Creans, who got run down by the cavalry as well, you know, they did good work. Let's go ahead and look at my ally. He also got, oh, actually he brought 2 Scorpions, 2 kills. Decent amount of kills all around. His cavalry not doing super well. Massilian cavalry, however, are not quite known for their veracity in battle. And let's take a look at the other guy. The Nervy did not quite do so well against our opponent. I think that's because he focused on guerrilla troops. Yeah, that's not quite the best move. Guerrilla troops, they cost more because they have the guerrilla ability, but in a battle like this, you're just wasting money. You should have just invested in something that has a little bit more sturdy staying power. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much. I hope you guys enjoy these types of battles. They're thoroughly enjoyable, as I said, and I hope to bring more to you in the near future. Thanks so much. Peace out.